We'll need to give them answers by tomorrow, Captain.
I'll have them. Dismissed.
The Seneschal was particularly vocal.
Dismissed. You'd think the Captain of the Guard could requisition a Templar or two, but no, that would be demeaning. Can't have them working for the people when Eternity needs a nanny.
That's why I remain unimportant. Less pressure.
As if the return of the Amels hasn't set Hightown on its ear.
As long as it's off its ass.
Sure, have your fun. But the coin you poured into Kirkwall tipped what balance there was.
I didn't realize I was making it worse by getting ahead.
I'm just harassing you. Although you are a bit like the center of a hurricane. You've changed fortunes for many people, not always for the better.
Sounds like you're spreading yourself pretty thin.
There are a lot of people in my charge. Someone has to look out for them.
You guard the guardsmen?
I don't turn people loose like Jevon. There's additional training, doubled patrols. Costs are up, but I've halved injuries. I'll take it and argue with Seneschal Bran later.
After the last captain, you couldn't have expected this to be easy.
At least I had the guards on my side. Once they understood, they rallied. And those who didn't weren't fit to hold the crest. Stack friends against the enemies. I don't know if I came out ahead, but it's for the better.
Grouse all you want. But the Aveline I know doesn't regret a second as captain.
They'd have to drag me out of here. And I'm sure some are lining up to try. You among them, I bet. Haven't had much time to follow you around. Not that I need to. I can trust that you at least try to do right. I'm with you if you need me, Hawk. Just say the word.
Oh, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you, Messiah. If only you humans didn't all look the same.
We can't all be short and bearded like your people, Bowden.
Indeed. It's quite a shame, really. There's a gentleman waiting at the mansion. He insists on seeing you. He says his name is Dougal. Your mother thought it wise, I tell you, Monsieur.
You left him alone in the mansion with Mother?
My boy Sandal is with her. But, you make a good point. I'll run back right away. Before I go, may I simply say how grateful I am that you've allowed my boy to stay in your home. I said I would repay you for saving Sandal's life, and I shall serve you faithfully. It is good to know he is safe.
I didn't ask you to be my manservant, Bowden.
But I owe you a debt, and after what happened in the Deep Roads, I have no other way to repay you. I'll leave you to your business. Don't forget about your guest. Your mother claims he was eyeing the silverware.
You've settled in nicely.
It's just luck. And skill.
Indeed. Still, more coin never hurts, right? Say, if someone wanted to pass some work your way...
I'm listening, Aveline. What's the trouble?
A thorn in my side, inventing trouble and scaring people. Remember Emmerich, the Templar? He wants your help, and some sort of official sanction.
Official sanction?
For his investigation. He's convinced that every random murder in the past few years is connected, and he won't be quiet.
I seem to recall he had some good leads.
Then you won't mind chasing his threads. If it leads somewhere, I'll pick it up. Right now, he's just distracting my men. He's in the gallows. Do what you can. Thanks, Hawk. I'll try not to make a habit of this.
Why, hello again. Lovely home you have here. And may I say your mother makes for delightful company?
Another visitor. We've moved up in the world, Mother.
Evidently so.
My apologies, Sarah. Your daughter and I simply have a bit of business to conclude.
I'll leave you two alone then. Be careful.
Darling woman. A shame that she spends so much time here alone.
Just what are you saying?
Allow me to get right to the point. I know all this came from Deep Road's treasure. I know you repaid me, but I think I deserve a larger share of your fortune. Fair's fair, right?
I kept my end of the bargain. Now get out.
Pity. Have it your way, Hawk. We'll be seeing each other again, I'm sure.
It's strange living here again. My childhood home. Now owned by my child. I do hope you've been upfront with me about really owning it. I don't want to be at the mercy of that wretched Dougal. It's nice to be here, though. To feel like an Amel again.
I'm going to make the name Hawk one to be proud of in this city.
I don't doubt it. Your father would have said that, with that exact look, too. I just wish we could all be together as a family one more time. I visited Carver with the Templars, and he's so proud of his new knighthood. I guess I just need to start picking you out a suitable husband.
I like the doggy. Ruff, ruff, ruff.
It looks like they're having a nice chat. Maybe Sandal picked up some Mabari speak from our time at the hero of Ferelden's camp.
Boo!
Ah, there he goes again. How he makes these things, I'll never know.
I've never seen another dwarf like him. Does this run in your family?
Not at all, but Sandal isn't really my son. I found him in the deep roads when I left Orzammar for good. Raised him as my own now. Isn't that right, my boy?
I like Bodan.
He's always been this way. Always collecting things and enchanting them. Strange, I suppose.
Have you ever thought of finding out more?
Well, I did. I brought him to the Circle of Magi about a year after we got to the surface. They called him a savant, but then they started giving him the eye like they were going to keep him, so we left. Not going back to those vultures. Sandal's happy as he is.
So long as he doesn't engulf the place in flames.
No, he wouldn't do that. Again.
I should make it go boom?
No, not this time, my boy. No boom.
Just tell me if you hear more rumblings from the coterie about protection. Blondie's got enough trouble. Let me ask you something, Hawk. You made it into Hightown. I'd expect anyone else to get complacent, but you must have plans.
No plans yet. I'm simply trying to look out for my mother.
I suppose after the whole business with Carver, it's a good idea to hang on to what you've got. To be honest, I thought there might be a chance you'd want to go back to Ferelden now that things have calmed down. It's good to hear you're sticking around.
What would I do without my trusty dwarf? I'd cry myself to sleep without you.
Oh, don't get all teary-eyed on me, Hawk. You know I can't stand to see a human cry. So, we've got a whole city-state full of trouble to get into. Shall we get started?
It's like you haven't moved in 3 years.
It's easier for people to find me this way. Do you remember the relic I told you about? The one I need to find? I've been following a lead. I'm so close I can taste it.
Isn't that what you said last time?
Oh, you mean when I went digging for that stash?
Yes. That turned out to contain several badly written poems and an old boot.
It could have contained the relic. Look, I know how you feel about this, but it's important to me, and I'm going to need your help when the time comes. Just promise me you'll consider it.
Do I get a kiss from the feisty temptress when I present her with the hard-won prize?
If you want. I'll even let you choose where I plant it.
Well, look who's here.
I knew it.
It turns out we'll need to do this the hard way, Hawk. I'll get the money you owe me if I have to tear your mansion apart brick by brick.
For the last time, Dougal. We're done.
We are now!
Have you heard from your brother? Is he happy? With the Templars, I mean.
Why trouble yourself over him?
I know how hard it is to give up everything and live among strangers. I worry about him. And not just for his sake.
Carver hates being happy. It interferes with his brooding.
The poor boy. I know he was angry when he left, but this wasn't your fault. One day he'll understand you were trying to protect him.
Maybe with time, he'll forgive me.
He loves you. He just doesn't show it very well. Things will be all right. Somehow.
Talking about?
You're squatting in Hightown. I sympathize with your claims, but your neighbors...
My claims?
To the estate. Rightfully stolen isn't exactly something I can forward to the Viscount. Be more discreet about... yourself.
I shall endeavor to exist with less offense.
I was hoping you'd come. You did so much for my Fainreal already, but... I visited him among the people, but he turned me away. I know the demons still plague him. And now they've taken him. 2 days ago, Fainreal went into a nightmare and hasn't returned.
Surely there are mages who can pursue him in the Fade.
I have contacted Keeper Marathari. The Dalish have an ancient ritual that might help. But it requires someone Fainreal trusts to enter the Fade to free him.
I have braved the Fade before. Perhaps I can aid him.
You have been so kind to us. Fainreal thinks of you as a true friend. Marathari is coming to perform the ritual that will bring Fainreal back. His childhood things here will help anchor him.
Perhaps this is something best left to the Circle.
I've already called for the Keeper. We need to begin the ritual as quickly as possible. Would you like to stay here or return when she arrives?
This is too urgent to delay.
You have been far kinder than I had any right to expect.
I came quickly, Ariane. I did not wish to tell you by letter how grave your son's situation is. The magic he possesses makes him what the Tevinters called Somniari, a dreamer. Dreamers have the power to control the beyond, what humans call the Fade. Feynriel is the first in 2 ages to survive.
What exactly are we going to do here?
The elves of the Dales were experts in the Somniari arts. They could even help those with no power enter the Fade. I have done my best to recreate the ritual. We will use Feynriel's childhood home as a focus to draw him back through the veil.
Just send me into the Fade.
I told you her courage was legendary.
Now, Ariane, please excuse us. We must prepare.
Oh, of course.
There is more I must tell you that is not for her ears.
Is Feynriel in danger?
Indeed. And the danger may not come from what you think. Feynriel cannot become an abomination. The destruction he would cause is unimaginable. If you cannot save him from the demons, you must kill him yourself. A death in the Fade will make him what your circle calls Tranquil. He will be no threat after.